Welcome to a new episode of Books and Beyond from the Winter Park Library, recorded live in the recording studio at the library in beautiful Winter Park, Florida. In Books and Beyond, we have conversations with writers, musicians, artists, presenters, and other contributors. Most of our guests have appeared live at the Winter Park Library or will be presenting soon. We hope you'll subscribe to the Books and Beyond podcast and that you'll stay up to date with library goings-on at winterparklibrary.org/events. That's winterparklibrary.org/events. I'm Michael Werner, and I'll be your host for our interviews. Enjoy the show. Hello out there, library patrons, readers, and smart people everywhere. This is Michael Werner, your host of the Winter Park Library's now world-famous Books and Beyond podcast. And we're here today with Jorge Sanchez. Jorge is with the library. He's a technology specialist, public librarian, but a technology specialist. And he's here today to help us understand what's going on here this month at the library because it's Pride Month. And we're going to be talking about that and some other related things. But before we dig into that, welcome, Jorge.
Thank you, Michael. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Glad to have you here. I see you lots around the library, but I really haven't had a chance to talk much.
Yeah. So we've met a couple times. I think in the theater and running around and doing all these different tech stuff that we do here. But yeah, I like you said, I am the tech specialist here at the library. I do all kinds of things. Mostly I do a lot of programming. I help people in the computer lab. I help people over in the makerspace whenever they're doing their appointments, whether it's on the Cricut or the laser cutter, if they have any questions about like 3D printing, stuff like that. I provide any kind of assistance.
How long have you been here at the library?
This is year 3 now, I want to say. I started, I want to say, like a couple months after this building opened.
Okay.
And in February, it was like, I want to say like a week before the last, it was like a week before March. I started on like a staff day, so it was like a really nice, introduction to the organization.
Sure. Yeah. And just your comment there reminded me, we are at the Winter Park Library right now. We're in the recording studio. That's in the library, that's open to the public, open to members of the library, for anybody to come in and do make their own podcast. They can record audiobooks. They can record music. Anything that could be recorded can be done here in the library. So just wanted to let you know about that. And also, I failed to mention something else too that I always like to start with, Jorge, and that is that there's a ton of things happening in this library. And one of the things is what we're going to be talking about now, but there's so many things going on. So the best thing to do to find out what's really happening here at the library is to go to winterparklibrary.org/events, and you'll see all the events for this month and the next month of things coming up. So back to you, Jorge. So you've been here for about 3 years at the beautiful Winter Park Library, which is just a little bit west of downtown Winter Park, in a beautiful part of town. And you're a technology specialist, so you were starting to talk about that. Sorry to get you off track there.
Yeah,
I got off track. I got wound up with the events.
It was a good segue into, definitely. Our calendar is the easiest way to access all our events. You can filter it by like different categories and everything in different age groups. So even within like technology classes, we do youth programming and we do adult programming. So regardless of what you're looking for. There's always the calendar that you can find at our front desk and at the youth desk upstairs, but the online calendar really is the best way to find stuff.
How do you know all this stuff? All this technology stuff. I mean, it's a pretty wide variety of courses that you guys offer.
When you're knee deep in it, you pick up on it as you go through all these different programs. A lot of them have the same kind of features and like functions, and they share a lot of like the same iconography and symbolism, which makes it a lot easier to kind of like be able to pick up different things used differently, but that are very much at its core the same function.
Mm-hmm.
Even stuff like the like recording programs share a lot of the same buttons and like flashy little icons and stuff as like Spotify or something.
Gotcha. Yeah. Do you work here? Have you done work here in the studio actually?
Not as much as I'd like to, but I do answer questions in here as well every once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah. Mostly this is Jeremy's game, so he hunkers down in here whenever anyone has a big old research problem.
And Jeremy, he's referencing Jeremy. Jeremy Zorn is the producer and the editor of this podcast. We also call him the vice president of podcast productions.
Yeah.
But he's here all the time to help us out with the podcast. So okay, back to your technology story here. So tons of courses, tons of help that you provide to people that walk in. You got any interesting stories to tell us? Like, you solved a great problem for somebody who was really struggling with something, and you solved their problem because you did X.
Let me see. There was this one lady who was having a lot of trouble with accessing her like veterans records, and she needs that in order to be able to like activate like her benefits and everything, and any like additional benefits. She was struggling with that for like, I want to say like 6 to 9 months.
Wow.
Because of some YouTube video that she found that was giving her like a Excel sheet that she was having trouble like using effectively, and she was able to sit down here on a random day that I was able to like walk across her issue on, and within like 2-3 hours we were able to figure that out and resolve that, which is for anyone that might be a senior, might be retired. It's hard to access things digitally, or even when people try to help with all these like kind of makeshift tools to make things easier for them, they still might not be able to do it all together. So, having this kind of place where individuals that might have issues that, go on for years and years and years, be able to fix that in like 2 minutes is always like really rewarding.
Yeah. Nice. And then how do you decide on what kinds of things to offer here?
Just by need mostly. Yeah. If somebody, has like a need for, say, like, well, given how we do our items in the makerspace, our procurement for like our machinery, the laser cutters and the 3D printers and everything, it all depends on, of course, like how much views we see the public getting out of it, right? So we used to start off with the Glowforge laser cutter. That's very, very basic. It's like an introductory into laser cutting, right?
And what would that be used for? A laser cutting?
Laser cutting would be used to engrave onto sort of thin materials, like a small plank of wood, a cutting board. If you want to cut like an acrylic sign out, or if you want to like create a business sign for like, let's say you have like a salon, or if you have a gym that you have, and you want to create like some kind of signs, you can create that with the Glowforge. That laser cutter will engrave into the material. It'll cut. It'll score onto it. You can actually like adjust how deep that laser burns into the material, so you can actually get like really cool effects on whatever kind of creation you're looking to do. Or you can use it to like, even if it's like a flat piece of material and you want to make something 3-dimensional out of it, kind of like a ship in a bottle even. You can make that kind of thing out of those.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's different from a laser printer. I'm not a laser printer, a 3D printer.
Yes. Yeah. So the laser cutters use a laser to cut. They're not so much a printer as they are like they subtract design out of a full material. Whereas something that, like a 3D printer, it actually creates something from nothing, as opposed to something that already exists.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I understand.
Cool. Yeah.
So like, do you have classes on the 3D printer?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
absolutely. We have classes on all the makerspace items. Yeah.
Okay.
We have 3D printing classes, we have laser cutting classes, and Cricut classes as well. And we're creating classes right now for
And Cricut is for what?
Cricut is it's for the thinnest materials that we have, like our fabrics, our vinyls,
It's like making
paper.
T-shirts or something?
Exactly, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we have our printer capabilities in here as well. We have a large format printer that's for like banners, graduation banners, canvas, paper banners and everything. But we also have photo printers that give you access to printing in like 4x5s, just like a typical photograph size. But also it does like 13x19 posters. Or if you bring in a new material, you could actually create like stickers or like a vinyl cutout for a design of like your logo that you can put on a tote bag or a T-shirt or like a towel or literally anything that you can think of. Using the rest of the machinery that we have for the Cricut here, the auto press for like ironing on materials, or the hat press for putting it on curved surfaces.
this is all shocking stuff to me because I mean, I'm an old-fashioned sort of person. I think of the library as a place that, if you haven't been into this library, or a library in general, in a while, I'm talking to our listeners now. It's amazing what this library gives.
Yeah.
I mean, libraries are a lot more than just books now, and that's why we call this podcast "Books and Beyond," because we talk about a lot of things beyond books. I mean, I love books, and books are the core focus of this library, like most libraries, but there's so much more, and Jorge is giving us some examples here.
It's really exciting, the kind of like path that libraries are taking with makerspaces, because it creates a whole list of different ways that libraries can bring access to all kinds of things to the public. So it's not just, of course, like information, but it's also tools to do something with that information.
Yes.
Which is, a really great thing.
Yeah, it is really good. Well, I'm glad you're doing that, Jorge.
Thank you.
You're here today to talk also about an event here at the library that's an annual event. I believe it's called PRISM.
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit about PRISM? First off, tell us what that stands for, what that means.
So PRISM is this year's Pride event, right? We're doing PRISM on June 21st from 2 to 4 p.m. PRISM is at its core
Do we have to sign up for that?
No, it's a walk-in event. Yeah,
Okay.
It's going to be a lot of organizations from the community that are going to be showing up. And then also there's going to be a performance aspect where different organizations are also going to be performing, different acts. We have
throughout the month, or that day, or
that day
Okay.
from 2 to 4 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be over in the Edith Bush Theater.
Yeah.
But PRISM itself, what it stands for is Pride, Resilience, Inclusion, Solidarity Matters.
Okay.
That's supposed to be kind of like there's dots between each one of those letters, so that it symbolizes the kind of like separation between them. But what it's supposed to be for is to highlight all those different concepts within the community, within the LGBTQ community, and how we interface with the public through places that are public parks, libraries, and so on.
Are there other things that happen during Pride Month here at the library, or is that the core focus?
I'd say PRISM is like the hallmark event for it. Yeah. So at PRISM, typically what we do is we have different presenters from the community. Like this year, we have Descolonizarte. They're going to be doing a excerpt from their show Queer that they've had a lot.
Who is that that's doing it?
Descolonizarte. They are Desco Teatro. They're Desco Theater. They do a lot of shows here.
Yes, I've seen them. Yes,
yeah, you've like I feel like we actually were at the same event one time.
At that time, yeah.
But they do a lot of great work, and a lot of great work within the community, specifically connecting with members of the transgender community, members of the immigrant community, and how those intersect, and they are bringing that kind of those stories to the Edith Bush Theater and performing at Pride, or at PRISM rather.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're also going to be seeing the Orlando Poet Society make an appearance. They're going to be presenting some poet pieces. I want to say it's 4 or 5 different poets. They're going to be performing their own work.
How can all this happen in 2 hours?
Yeah. It's going to be
very tight programming.
Thankfully, poems, you can kind of read through them pretty quickly. They're like 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a quick run through of different performances, and then of course we're going to break after to have individuals get a chance to like table around for the organizations that have come to visit. Like we have 26 Health. That's going to be making an appearance. They are a health organization, but also do a lot of work within the realm of sexual health and how that ties into the LGBTQ community and the the amount of work that's needed there. There's also going to be PFLAG is going to be joining us, and we have the Winter Park Pride Project that's also going to be there. Exactly. They're going to have a booth that you can come to and get information about the organization. We also have just remembered Out of the Closet. they are going to be doing a wardrobe exchange to where you can bring in your own clothing that might not exactly match your gender identity anymore, and you can actually trade them in for clothes that they have on the racks here at the library, and you can leave with those clothes.
Okay.
And just giving anyone a chance to be able to actually give them a space to be able to kind of maneuver around the experience of being a queer person or being part of the community in some way.
Okay. And are these events geared to certain age groups, or what is this?
So PRISM itself is a 18-plus event. It is for adults.
Holy schmoly, Jorge!
Yeah.
You know what that means? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about this, but it means it's time for the rapid fire Q&A.
Yeah. All right, cool.
This is a chance, and these are just short. We're going to ask you some questions.
Yeah.
This is a chance for us and our community, our listener community, to get to know you a little bit better. We're just going to fire some questions at you. They're just random questions that I pick out of my pile of cards here, and if you could just answer them in a one sentence or less sort of format. And
Absolutely.
We'll just
all right, cool.
move
That sounds good.
Right through them. Start with a tough one here.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's start with an easy one to get you warmed up.
All right,
Let's start with an easy one.
All
Okay.
right, let's do it.
When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Ooh, I think everyone's, when they're a kid, I think the easiest one or like the most typical career is archaeologist.
Okay.
I definitely wanted to just be like in soil, just with a brush digging out fossils for
like Indiana
for a
Jones
while.
or something.
Yeah, exactly. So like
type
more Jurassic Park.
Okay. Yeah.
That one scene where who is the Jurassic Park guy? Well, he comes in with the claw and he like pretends to like to like go after the kid with the claw while he's like explaining the work that archaeologists do.
Yeah.
That sat with me. So I think that definitely was where my brain went.
Okay, and you went there immediately. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Ooh, that's a hard one. That is a hard one. What is the best advice I've ever received? Well, there's a lot to be said where my parents always stressed discipline a lot and just, I guess, like intellectual pursuits. So I guess kind of like the mix of those two things led me to be a little bit scholarly. So I'd say that's probably the best advice. Just kind of be disciplined and be well-read. Yeah.
Okay, very, very, very good.
Yeah.
What's something they don't teach you in school but should?
Ooh. That's a good question. Well, it depends, I guess, on what kind of school you're going to, because like
let's say K through 12 and
K through 12, like a public school.
Yeah,
well,
public school
so
up through graduate.
So they do teach street smarts at public schools. So
do they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, just that's something that you would learn. I guess not so much in like a private school, but in like a public school, I feel like definitely I got a little bit of that. So there's not that I would say. Maybe let's bring back handwriting classes or something, right? Let's see, what else could they do? What aren't they teaching in schools nowadays? There's 3D modeling. I feel like 3D modeling would be a fun little exercise there for kiddos, because they'll be able to make, it's like clay modeling, but in using computers and everything. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay. If it occurs to you, that's fine. We don't have to have it. Jorge, the older I get, the more I realize I don't have to have an answer for everything. So
that's true.
We don't have to have answers for everything. Just, I don't know. It's a good answer. Okay. The next question, if this food item had no calories and it had incredibly high nutritional value, no calories and incredibly high nutritional value, what could you eat every day?
Shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, every single day for like the rest of my life without a problem. Like, just keep it coming.
But with beef and not lamb, right? I know the original shepherd's pie from England is
honestly,
lamb,
why not? Why not throw a little lamb in there? But I'm more
beef.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Is there some place you have not been that's on your must-see or go list?
Well, we were just talking about it. Japan.
Japan.
Yeah, 100%. I just got back from Houston, which was wonderful. I had a really, really great time. They have a solid like cultural district over there that is just like incredible to walk around. It's really, really
in Tokyo.
No, in Houston. Houston,
Oh, in
Texas.
Houston.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
They have a lot of like commercial space that they combine with like parks, and they like pair it with their actual cultural district, which just makes it like a nice little like area entirely. Yeah. That was a lot of fun. But definitely Tokyo, 100%. That's probably where I'm headed next.
Okay. You think you'll make it the next year or two?
Yeah, probably. Like, I'm thinking about going in March because Bad Bunny is going to be there in March.
Okay.
And Bad Bunny in Japan, come on, like that's that's like the craziest thing. I will likely be heading over.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite author?
Fiction,
nonfiction,
that's a good question.
or
I'm not sure.
authors?
Favorite author. As a kid, I used to read like obsessively Series of Unfortunate Events, Lemony Snicket. I think his real name is David Handler, if I'm not mistaken. He was pretty cool. He let's see what else. Gary Indiana. He wasn't a prolific writer, but he wrote like a lot of just like crazy. Not that Gary Indiana, the other Gary Indiana, who is a author.
No, I understand.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Well, Indiana just happens to pop up in this show often.
Yeah?
People from Indiana,
What?
or just
That's wild.
all things lead
Yeah.
through Indiana, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Indiana Jones earlier.
Indiana Jones, yeah, Gary Indiana. Okay, what's a character trait that you admire in other people?
I think I like when people are like really erudite, when they like can just talk about something for like hours and hours on end. I think that's like super interesting, just in any individual, and just being able to like have that passion for learning a particular topic. I think is really, really cool and admirable. So
okay. Yeah. One more question, and then we'll get you off the hot seat. Go back to our topic here.
Yeah.
If you weren't doing what you're doing today, career-wise, work-wise, what do you think you would be doing?
If I wasn't,
if you weren't here at the library,
I probably would have like chosen a different like career path entirely. I'd probably be like a video game developer, like living in some like cabin in Cocoa Beach with like a red truck, and I'd have like a husky that has like a little like a little handkerchief, and we'd just be living our whole deal.
Do you have a dog?
Yes, I have a very tiny dog. His name is Princey. He does indeed, but we don't have a red truck. Yeah.
Well, that's next up, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Well, good to get to know you a little bit better, and I hope our
likewise.
Audience liked that a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so back to the PRISM event.
Yeah.
How long has this been going on, and what's the history of that event?
PRISM. So PRISM
or
was
its
actually
predecessor.
Yeah. So PRISM actually had a predecessor. It's Speak from the Heart. I believe this is year 5 of us celebrating Pride here at the library. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that it began under our director of community engagement, Jody Lazar. It was a completely different beast at the time that she had it. It was very much like a drop-in, sort of like a mix between the stage show that we do and kind of like a PFLAG meeting almost.
Okay.
Where
what is that PFLAG?
So it's PFLAG is an organization where the family members and friends of individuals who are part of the community meet together.
Okay.
So it's like a community adjacent group.
Okay.
Where people can speak their minds, their questions, share stuff about their family members and their friends who might be part of the community, and also meet with them in those same groups and everything. I trailed off and forgot the question.
Well, we were talking about the history of
the
PRISM.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So Speak from the Heart started off as like a place where people can come in and share their works, right? Their innermost thoughts, the struggles of being part of the community, growing up within the community, but also the joys of it. What kind of things it inspired out of you, if it comes in the form of like being part of the Orlando Gay Chorus and performing here, that's wonderful. But if it also comes in the form of writing a devastating poem about your past experiences and sharing that with the public, that's also the place for it. We also have all these organizations that table at the event for the purpose of providing all kinds of support, whether it's health support, mental health, public health, sexual health, but also just making sure that there's some level of visibility for the organizations that exist. And, in the case of anyone coming in, we never really know where anyone is, inside mentally. I mean,
Sure.
Just being able to see them in here interacting with other people in their community is always a great success.
Okay. And how did you get involved with this?
So originally, like I said, it was Jody Lazar's event. She then handed it off over to Erin Collier-Plummer. She was our ex-youth manager here, who she, I believe, is... well, hold on. She took over for that event for like 2 years, and she actually found a new opportunity and was able to actually move on to it. And because of that actually left the event up in the air a little bit about like who was going to take over. But thankfully, I was able to form a committee for it this year that involved a lot of the other librarians and everything. And so now we're kind of just taking it on as a team, which is...
So you don't have to do all the event planning and everything by yourself?
Oh, no.
You
Thank
have help.
goodness. No, that would be crazy.
You have help.
Yeah, absolutely. A number of us have taken on the event in, numerous roles. Yeah.
And why do you think this is an important event for the library?
It's an important event. It's giving everybody an opportunity to share their emotions, share their past experiences, give everyone a place to show that things aren't as scary as they seem, regardless of what perspective you're coming in with. Really, just being able to share exactly what it is to exist within the community in the year 2025. Being able to actually create a space for people to share how they feel is really the goal here.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, of course, giving them the opportunity to interact with the communities that might provide some level of support for them in their day-to-day life.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good. We're here with Jorge Sanchez with the Winter Park Library. He's a public services librarian focusing in the technology area. Last question here for you, and you're welcome to contribute other things.
Yeah.
Aside from the PRISM event, anything else here at the library that you're looking forward to this year?
Yeah, so this year it is, we are currently starting our summer event. So we have a...
Jam-packed.
Exactly, yeah. That's going to be crazy from start to finish. We have all kinds of events throughout the summer for adults and for youth. Our Color Your World programs are coming in. So with the technology department in particular, we're going to be doing some virtual reality programs. So we're going to have an event where we're going to be traveling in virtual reality through a lot of the different museums here in Winter Park and in Central Florida. Then we're also going to be doing another virtual reality event where we will be traveling throughout museums and destinations in the entire world. So, we have the Guggenheim, we have the Eiffel Tower that we're going to be visiting, all kinds of different places. Not just, of course, in Europe. Those two are the ones that come to mind as quickly as possible. But all kinds of places we're going to be visiting in virtual reality.
That's cool. And throughout the course of the year,
or throughout the summer, actually, over the next
okay.
couple months. Yeah. We are also going to be doing a Sculpt VR program, which is sculpting inside virtual reality, which is going to be really, really. It's going to be like you're you got like a clay wheel going on, and
just virtually.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's also Maker Day, which is coming up. That's going to be a great event. I believe July 3rd. Yeah, July 3rd. Yeah, we're going to be doing Maker Day here, and we're going to have all kinds of different organizations from Central Florida coming in to create like different take homes, right? There's going to be a organization that's going to be here where you're going to be able to do like blackout poetry, but with different colors. So you can have like, like you could create your own poetry. There's going to be, we're also going to be doing some more Sculpt VR programming as well. There's going to be dice kits where you can pop out of a 3D printed mold a dice that you can make for yourself, whether it's 6-sided, 20-sided dice for like D&D, or if you want to just like play Monopoly with it, that's also something you can do. There's going to be robot art upstairs. I'm not going to get too much into that. There's also going to be some opportunities to,
having
to create
robots
collages.
to create art. Or,
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
All kinds of different things. So yeah, if you're anywhere near a computer or a technology device, go on our website, see what's up there, because there's a lot of good stuff this summer.
And that, again, as a reminder, Jorge, that's at winterparklibrary.org/events. You'll find all that stuff there. Hey, it was great having you here. You want to share anything else?
Let's see. I think we're good. I mean, the computer lab has the Adobe Creative Cloud. That's always a great offering that not enough people know about. There's Adobe Photoshop under Illustrator.
And what is the Creative Cloud?
The Creative Cloud gives you access to Photoshop, Illustrator, if you're looking to create like graphics. If you're looking to create something like music, you can use Audition. If you're looking to create movies, you can use Premiere Pro. That's all available in the computer lab with your library card. The makerspace, of course. There's laser cutting that you can do, engraving.
Do we bring in our own materials for this stuff, or do we buy them from you, or how does that work?
Typically for the Cricut, you'll bring in your own materials. For the laser cutters and the 3D printer, we supply those.
Okay.
Most of the time, yeah. Especially the 3D printers, just because the filament can get a little bit. There's hundreds of different kinds, and we don't know if it's safe to bring in stuff from outside, so we have to test it first before we let anyone throw.
But like if I wanted to make a sign on metal on a piece of tin, I would bring that in, I guess, right? I mean,
that would be a conversation to be had with the tech department. But it typically the laser cutters, we provide the materials. But definitely, if you have an idea in mind like that, give us a call, because not only do we provide help with the machines that we have here, but we also do provide craft help. Like what do you do with a big old sheet of metal that can be engraved on? How far can we take this?
Gotcha.
Or where can we take this if not here to do something with it?
Okay. Well, personally, I may be seeing you. I need a sign for my office at home. Yeah.
There we go.
There we
go. Yeah.
Okay, Jorge. It was a real pleasure having you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll see you around. And again, the PRISM event is what day and time?
That is going to be June 21st. That's going to be June 21st from 2 to 4 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Books and Beyond from the Winter Park Library. This podcast would not be possible without the generous help and support from the library staff, and especially from Jeremy Zorn. Jeremy's official title is Public Services Librarian, but he does many things here at the library, including producing this podcast. We can't do this without you, Jeremy. Our theme music is from the song Don't Go by Bovine Joe and the Buffalo Herd. That's Herd spelled H-E-A-R-D. We hope you'll let your friends and others know about this podcast, and that you'll come by the library for one of our offerings, which you can find at winterparklibrary.org/events. That's winterparklibrary.org/events. If you have questions or suggestions for the podcast, or just want to talk about Books and Beyond, please send an email to podcast@winterparklibrary.org. That's an email to podcast@winterparklibrary.org. Remember that the Winter Park Library promotes the free and open exchange of ideas and does not attempt to control or take responsibility for any opinions that may be expressed in this podcast. Opinions expressed in this podcast do not constitute or imply an endorsement or a reflection of the library's policies or beliefs. This is Michael Werner, wishing you well until our next episode of Books and Beyond.